Hello students, this is our final lecture. Here we will learn how to solve the numericals which comes from the conditions of latent heat and also if there is including some temperature changes. So today our target is to learn how to solve numericals from the chapter. Most of the numericals you will face in the chapter can be classified into three types. The first kind of numericals is mostly that you have faced in the first exercise, that is exercise 11a, where only temperature change occurs. Clear? That means if you are dealing with ice, just we change the temperature from -5 to -10 degrees centigrade, but there is no change of phase. Clear? The next group of numericals are where phase transition happens, means a solid becomes a liquid becomes a vapor. So this kind of changes we will study in the next part where phase change occurs. At the most important kinds of numericals are those where both things are happening, means change in temperature and also change in phase. Both things are happening, and this kind of numericals are mostly common and they used to come in little bit tougher questions. So we can make a easy charting of these formulas we will going to use. See, first of all, the cases where only change of temperatures are occurring, like an object was at temperature T1, it was heated by Q amount of heat and it reached temperature T2. If the specific heat of the object is given C, then amount of heat required is Q equals to mc delta T. What is this delta T? Where delta T is equals to T2 minus T1. Clear? That is change in temperature, and m is the mass and C is the specific heat. The second kind of cases where only change of phases are occurring. That means only solid to liquid transition but no temperature change, because we all know the phase change means any kind of melting or vaporization or sublimation. Any kind of phase change basically occurs at a fixed temperature, so we don't need to worry about the temperature change. We will only think about the latent heat. Calculation of latent heat is our main target here, right? The formula is very simple. Q equals to ml, where L is the specific latent heat. Clear? This is the way we measure how much heat is required, that is Q during phase transition. And the third kinds where both are required, we need to calculate the heat due to temperature change and also the heat due to phase change. So if we just calculate the both cases, the formula basically sums of ml plus mc delta T, as we are calculating both kinds. Clear? So this is the three kinds of formulas we will mostly use in our chapters. I have made a fresh chart so that all of you can watch it in a single screen. See, the first case where temperature change occurs, Q1 equals to mc delta T, where Q1 is the heat taken or released due to temperature variation, m is mass, C is specific heat, and delta T is change in temperature, that is T2 minus T1 or T1 minus T2 depending on who is greater. Clear? That's the first kind. The next kind is Q2 equals to ml, the latent heat, m mass, L is specific latent heat. And the third case where we are combining the both kind, and Q equals to Q1 plus Q2. So Q1 is for temperature change mc delta T and Q2 is for latent heat ml. So we can sum up the both to get the total amount of heat transfer occurring in each case. Let's see how we do solve numericals. See, for solving numericals, I've just made an easy problem so that you can get a basic understanding how the things are calculated. See, I've taken a system of ice. An ice of some mass must be m is the mass considered that is kept at temperature minus 5 degrees centigrade. Now it is heated, and it is heated up to temperature of 20 degrees centigrade. Clear? Now, what are the things happening here? In the first case, the ice was at minus 5 degrees centigrade. So will the ice just jump into the 20 degrees centigrade temperature? No. It will first go through the temperature change from minus 5 degree to 0 degree centigrade. During that time, we calculate the temperature heat coming out from the temperature change as QE1 equals to mc delta T. Clear? The next part, what happens? The ice which was at 0 degree centigrade, it becomes water. So in the next stage, we are basically going through a phase transition. Clear? So we just need to calculate the latent heat from these portions, and Q2 equals to ml. Very specifically easy. And in the third case, the water of 0 degree centigrade again heated up to 20 degree centigrade. And we calculate Q3 equals to mc delta T for the calculation of the heat required or heat taken for the temperature increase. So you can see that whole thing is happening in 3 steps. First, the ice given at minus 5 degree centigrade is heated up to 0 degree centigrade. Then the 0 degree centigrade ice is converted to 0 degree centigrade of water. Then 0 degree centigrade of water converts to 20 degree centigrade of water. When there is temperature change, we use the first formula. When there is phase change, we use the second formula of latent heat. And again temperature change the same. And after that, if you are asked how much total heat was required, the very simple Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. We will just add these 3 and we will get the final answer. So this is how we are going to solve the numericals. Let's start with number 1. The question number 1 of exercise 11b, page 281 is saying 10 gram of ice at 0 degree centigrade absorbs 5460 joule of heat energy to melt and change to water of 50 degree centigrade. Calculate the specific latent heat of fusion of ice and specific heat capacity of water, which is given for 1200 joule per kg Kelvin. So you can see the ice is at of mass 10 gram given at 10 degree centigrade, and heat taken is 5460 joule. And what is the case happening? Now, first of all, you can see the 10 gram of ice at 0 degree centigrade will first convert to water of 0 degree centigrade, and in the further stage, that 0 degree centigrade of water will be heated up to 50 degree centigrade of water. So we are having 2-stage thing. First phase change, then temperature change. So we will use the second formula. The third formula. ml plus mc delta T for phase change portion and for temperature change portion. You can see the specific heat of water is given to be 4200 joule per kg Kelvin. You must need to focus here that the specific heat is given in kg and mass is given in grams. In that case, we convert the mass of 10 gram into kg. Clear? 10 gram becomes 0.01 kg. Then we start solving. See, so QE, the heat given 5460, mass 0.01, L is latent heat. We have to find out the latent heat of ice, and the M of mass again 0.01, specific heat is given 4200, and temperature change is easily 50 degree to 0, that is 50 degree centigrade change. So 50 is the value of delta T. So after that, we have calculated the whole numericals here. Clear? And we found out the multiplication values, and 5460 on the left. Then I took this side on the left, and 0.01 of L's value comes out to be 3360. Dividing them by, we got this value 33 lakhs. I guess no, 3,36,000. So 336 into 10 to the power 3. That is the amount of latent heat. What should be the unit? Latent heat's unit is, we know, L equals to Q by M. So joule per mass. Here the mass is calculated in kg. So joule per kg. That is why 336 into 10 to the power 3 joule per kg. And if you just want the answer units, this is joule per gram, the 10 to the power 3 per joule per kg is 1 joule per gram. So 10 to the power 3 joule per kg can be written as joule per gram. So this is the answer of question number 1. Let's take a look. Next numerical is question number 3, we will discuss now. The numerical 3 asks us a molten metal of mass 150 grams is kept at its melting point 80 degrees centigrade. Remember, it's 800 degrees centigrade. When it is allowed to freeze at the same temperature, it gives out 75,000 joule of heat energy. So how much energy it emits out? 75,000 joule to freeze out. Asked 2 questions. What is the specific latent heat of the metal? Means we have to calculate the L, and the first portion, let's solve it first. So mass 150 grams, temperature 800 degree centigrade. It gives out 75,000 joule of heat, that is a Q. Clear? To freeze. So that is its latent heat. How do we calculate L? The Q equals to ml, then L equals to Q by M. So just Q is value is 75,000, mass is 150 grams. Just divide it. I got 75,000 by 150. You can calculate it in your hands. The answer comes out to be 500 joule per gram because the mass is given in grams. Clear? That is the answer of how we calculate the specific latent heat. This is the answer of the first portion. The next portion asks a little bit advanced portion, that if the specific heat capacity of the metal is 200 joule per kg Kelvin, how much additional heat energy will the metal give out in cooling to minus 50 degrees centigrade? See, we have to cool it down to minus 50 degrees centigrade. It is at temperature 800 degree. So how much temperature change? 800 degrees centigrade to minus 50 degrees centigrade. Not 50, minus 50. So temperature change is 800 to minus 50, that is 850. Clear? Specific heat is given 200 joule per kg Kelvin. Be conscious, before the mass was given in grams, but here the specific heat is given in kilograms. So we need to convert it into kilograms. So mass 150 grams is 0.15 kg. Fine. I put the value Q equals to mc delta T. That's a child's play formula. So mass 0.15, C 200, and delta T is 850. We just multiply and we get 25,500 joule. Multiplying this gives us our required answer. So this is how we will solve the numerical number 3. The next numerical is question number 8. Quite simple. Find the result of mixing 10 gram of ice at minus 10 degrees centigrade with 10 gram of water at plus 10 degrees centigrade, where specific heat of ice, latent heat of ice, and heat capacity of water is given. So it's simple. 10 gram of water is at plus 10 degrees centigrade. It will lose its heat, and that heat will be gained by 10 gram of ice, and it will just increase its temperature. We have to find out that if 10 gram of ice melts down, will it supply enough amount of heat so that the 10 gram of ice completely melts down to water or not. If the ice completely melts down to water, then there will be some temperature change. But if it fails to completely convert into water, then we know it is struck in between phase transition. So what will be the answer? Of course 0 degree centigrade, because the phase transition or the melting of ice happens at 0 degree and temperature remains constant during this transition. So first step, 10 gram of water 10 degree centigrade. At how much it will cool down? It will cool down to 0 degree centigrade. Temperature change 10 minus 0, 10. Mass 10 grams. Specific heat of water is given 4.2 joule per gram Kelvin. Specific heat also given in grams, so I don't need to change the mass into kg. So I calculate the heat given out is 420 joule just by multiplying using the formula Q equals to mc delta T. Clear? The next portion, the heat taken by ice to heat from minus 10 to 0 degree, means now this heat will be gained by the ice. But will it gain complete amount of heat? Let's see. The heat is going to 0 degree centigrade from minus 10. So temperature change 0 minus of minus 10, that is plus 10, delta T is plus 10. Specific heat of ice is given in grams, mass is also in grams. I just multiplied these three quantities and I got 210 joule. So the ice comes to 0 degree centigrade by taking 210 joule of heat, though 420 joule of heat is available. So the rest amount of heat is 420 minus 210, that is 210 joule is also left. This heat will be used to melt the ice. Easy. So how much amount of ice will be melt? We know latent is given. Latent heat is specific latent heat is 336 joule per gram. Q equals to ml. So mass that will melt is Q by L. 210 joule of heat is available. Latent heat is 336. Just dividing, I got 0.625 gram of ice will melt. So I can see I had 10 gram of ice, but not all the amount of ice could be melted by that amount of heat available. Only 0.625 grams of heat is melting. So the final temperature will also remain at 0 degree centigrade, because it is stuck in the middle of the phase transition. So it will face the 0 degree centigrade constant temperature. So this is how we solve the question number 8. The next numerical is question number 12. Quite simple. Question number 12 suggests 2 kg of ice melts when water at 100 degrees centigrade is poured in a hole drilled in a block of ice. What mass of water was used? Given specific heat capacity of water and specific latent heat of ice. So the question must be understood very carefully. 2 kg of ice just melts by pouring water of 100 degrees centigrade. Means the water will come down from 100 degrees centigrade to 0 degrees centigrade, and in this process the water will leave the heat that will just melt 2 kg of ice, not more than that, not less than that. So we know how much heat will be taken by 2 kg of ice for melting. We can calculate that, and further we can calculate how much amount of water will be required to gain that much amount of heat. Solution. See, for water, what is the change in temperature? 100 to 0, so delta T is 100. Specific heat of water is 4200. I have to calculate how much mass of water must be changed. Q equals to mc delta T. Now heat taken by ice, Q equals to ml. So how much heat the 2 kg of ice will take to melt down? Easily, L is given in joule per kg, mass 2 kg, just multiply it. Q equals to m into L. 336 into 10 to the power 3 into 2, 672 into 10 to the power 3 joule. Clear? So this much amount of heat must be supplied by the water. So mc delta T is 672 into 10 to the power 3. C given, delta T given. So m must be calculated by dividing them. So just divide, do your calculation. You will find out the mass of the water required is 1.6 kg. So this is how we just calculated how much is heat we must need to supply by water to melt 2 kg of ice. So I hope all of you will be able to solve the rest of the numericals in the chapter. If you are getting any kind of doubts, ask me in the comment section, or can also ask me, inbox me. So thank you. The chapter of calorimetry is finished. The next part we will start is current electricity in the next week, and all of you must need to submit your homework by Sunday evening. Thank you.